statement from one of the most revered men that I've met gave me a boost. So 2 years after I worked in Heads Holdings for that moment, I started my business. Now, I started my business with only that statement. But it was hard. It was tough until it started working. And that's when I started having people behind me. Yep, it is a very, very lonely journey. But for those that can stick to it, it works. Because when life in itself feels like it is giving you back what you feel like is supposed to be yours, there's only one thing that you need to remember in all of that. Because when life feels like, or when you're doing everything that you're doing here for 4 or 5 years in university, and the mindset is that I'm going to come out, I'm going to work in a very good place, I'm going to be able to buy a car. By the time I'm 27, I should have everything ready, a couple of millions in my bank account, then I can get married, have a couple of kids before I'm 30, go back to work. I know that a lot of people have that. Yeah? Now, unfortunately, like I mentioned, that's 10 to 15% of the case for a lot of people here. And that's just the data truth. So, but when life throws that at you, the question is, in all those conversations that you have in your head, what do you really own? What you own is what you start creating from now. What you own is what you start risking from now. What you own is how you show up now. I have seen a lot of young people that have impressed me in this space. I am happy about the future of now. And I'm not saying this to gas you people up. I am happy about the, you know what, let me even bust your head. Right before he even graduated, that man in the coat of many colors, I was doing a course, because I didn't want to make it free, because I know that if I make it free, people would abuse it, come to the course, they will not continue. But he paid right here when he was still in Landmark. He did the course for, how long was the course? 2 months. And when he was done, he asked, can I come work with you? I didn't even ask how, like, whether he was still in school, because I was impressed by what he knew and also what he was able to learn. And right there, immediately he got into the office, he started managing brands, billionaire brands, some of the biggest brands in Nigeria. And there was one day he told me that, boss, I'm going for my graduation. I was like, you're not done? And that shows the impact and the beauty that is coming out of here. But the conversation is, he did international relations, very, very different from advertising. But he's working in an advertising company and killing it every day. I hope I can say killing it. Sorry. Next slide, please. Because when you own your story, it shows in your job interviews. It shows in your approach to work. It shows in your personal brand. It shows in your relationships that you build. And it also shows in the connections that you grow. It is not about what life is supposed to be. I know that a lot of you are possibly here because of the advices, concerns, discussions, and also guidance of your parents. But I also know that in your head, with hundreds of people with you around, with your lecturers, with your dean, with your VC, with your registrar, you're the only person that understands how he's doing you. They don't get it. And sometimes a lot of you are quiet. You don't want to talk because you feel like they won't get it. Yes, they won't get it. And that's why you need to own your stories that cannot be stolen. You have to own your resilience. You have to own your reputation and guard it with your life. Because a stained reputation, no matter how much you clean, is a stained reputation. You have to own your decisions. and the consequences of not making or making certain decisions, because it stays with you for life. You can't clean it. If you like, delete your social media page 10 billion times. You guys, some of you aren't. Okay, let's pretend that we are not on TikTok and we don't watch TikTok because phones are not allowed in school. But when you get on holidays and you get to go on TikTok, you see that there are people that once that thing happens to their name, the only thing you remember about them is that thing. It is hard to deal with. So guard your reputation. As in, if you don't learn anything today, see that one. Guard your reputation with your life, because no matter the type of story you build for yourself, that one small mistake could stain it. And you also need to be adaptable. Things will not work out the way you want it to. Point blank, simple. So figure out a way of making it work. Then there are certain moments that make meaning in your life. And you never know when those moments are unless you stop, breathe, and take it all in. As young people, we have these tendencies to always be defensive with every single action that we tend to take. I am not saying that you shouldn't stand for what you believe in. But it is also important to learn when to take it all in. Then, building networks is important. And when I say networks, I don't mean that it is only when you put up a suit and tie, there was a time I was going to a meeting. I met a friend of mine that was the creative director of Glow. He was taking a jog. I just put down my my glass, and I said, boss, how far? As he was about to go, in less than 30 seconds, I said something to him, and he said, guys, send me a mail. You just need to wait. You just need to be able to attack every moment when they come and build networks as they come. Then the final thing, your creative energy has to come forth. I loved what these guys did with these guys are doing with NORAD, and I see where they are going to. And whether it works or it doesn't, the cocoa of the matter is that they have done something here that you can never take away from them. And every single time you remember them, it is always going to be mostly about this moment, at least for me. Because every single thing else outside of these things that I've mentioned is borrowed. Your certificate, whether you like it or not, is borrowed. But what you do with your story, what you do with your story can never be taken away from you. When I say your certificate is borrowed, I'm not saying that it is not useful. I mean what you do with it is that can never be taken away from you. So remember, the only thing worth owning is your lane and your rule. Nothing else matters. And you do not need anybody's permission to be able to begin. Thank you.